So never in my YouTube career did I think I was going to be making an apology video, but here I am making an apology video, and also just wanted to give a better update as to what I had shared with you guys previously. So recently I shared a video about when we could be millionaires, and I showed you a spreadsheet with when I thought the potential would be for us to be a millionaire, which if you don't know what the definition of a millionaire is, it just means that your net worth is $1 million, meaning all of your assets or the things you own minus your liabilities, the things that you owe, is $1 million. My husband Jacob and I recently hit a $300,000 net worth, which is exciting, and our net worth actually grew an additional $100,000 within 5 months, and so it's been exciting to be tracking our net worth. So I just kind of played around with it and just came up with a little bit of an estimate of when we'd be millionaires. And there were some comments that I received on that video from you guys saying how I miscalculated this, and I even received a comment saying that I was being misleading, and that was never my intention at all to be misleading to anyone, and I'm very sorry if you felt that way. And because of that and a few of the other comments, I didn't want to keep that video up because I felt like I had done something bad and I didn't intentionally mean to, but I took the video down because I didn't want that to be up there and for anyone to feel like they were being misled by me or anything like that. So I did take that video down. So the reason of why people made those comments was because I took a look at the retirement fund increases that we've seen month over month for the last year and a half, and took the average increase month over month, which included market growth and also the contributions that we were making. And I just took that average and then I extrapolated it for months down until I got to what I thought would be a $1 million net worth. And the issue that people brought up was that that was a very aggressive over assumption, because the contribution amount that's included in there isn't going to keep increasing at that same exponential growth rate, if that makes sense. So right now for 2021, this is going to be our biggest retirement contribution year yet. We are planning to put $30,000 into retirement, and I hope that that'll go up year over year. That's our plan, is to be able to put more and more. But yeah, that may not go up by we may not increase our contributions by 5% or 10% every year or whatever that may be. So I understand what the issue was there and why people got frustrated with that. So I just want to apologize for even putting that video out, because I think honestly I was just being lazy with it, and I didn't do all of the research that I should have done before posting the video, and I shouldn't have done that. And so I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry about that, and I apologize. And while the video that I made wasn't giving advice of what you should be doing or anything like that, it was just sharing what I'd done for myself. I would never want anyone to take semi-incorrect information from me and then try and apply it to their own lives. I would never want that. And so that was a reason of why, I took that video down. So all that to be said, the video that I posted, I felt like I was lazy and I didn't do super great math. I basically just took the growth that we'd experienced and extrapolated that going forward, and didn't have any other assumptions that I should have made going into the projection. I didn't do a lot of work on the front end, and so again, I just apologize for putting out a video where I wasn't doing all of the research and work up front that I honestly should have. But all that being said, what I shared was just simply a projection, and projections change all of the time and aren't going to be 100% accurate. For me, it was just kind of motivating to see yeah, we could hit this net worth milestone in a few years. We could be at this place and kind of get some sort of broad idea. I wasn't doing that to be this day, this month, this year is when we're going to be millionaires, but more of just hey, in a few years, maybe this is where we could be. But I do understand how extrapolating that number out ended up having some issues with getting that overall timeline for our net worth. So all that to be said, last night I stayed up extra late. I stayed up past midnight, and I do have a young baby, but I was I want to just do this right. I want to do it right. So I did some extra research and better math, because also, you guys, I'm also just embarrassed about this because I literally have a degree in accounting, and I've taken classes on time value of money and all of these things, and so I know how to do these things. I just did it the lazy way. So I wanted to actually do it the right way, come up with some assumptions and projections that are more conservative and show you guys what that actually can look like. So that's what I want to show you guys now in the spreadsheet. Again, I want to apologize for putting out that video that I didn't do a lot of research on and didn't do really great math on. And my hope with this video is that I can redeem that and show you guys a more realistic projection, I guess, and show you guys that I can do math. So let's take a look now at this net worth projection. As a disclaimer, this video is not financial advice or how you should be projecting out your finances, accounts, investments. This is just what I've done for myself. This is just for me. So just that little disclaimer before we get into it. So this is what that previous video looked like, where I was showing you the month and then all of our additional assets. So retirement accounts, house equity, cash, our cars, and then other investments. And then this is what I was basing all of my other projections off of, was the retirement growth rate that we'd seen month over month. I took the average and then extrapolated that. And then here's the grand total showing our net worth. So here in pink, I have highlighted when we hit a $100,000 net worth milestone. So in December 2019, we hit 105. In November 2020, we hit 208. And in April 2021, we hit 317. So my goal is to find out when this number here, the total, is going to hit $1 million. So let's take a look at all of the assumptions that I've made, and hopefully this will provide a little bit more clarity. So let's talk first about investment assumptions. So the different investment categories that I was working with for our net worth was retirement specific accounts, which includes our Roth IRAs, 401k, 403b, and then we have additional investments, which include our son's 529, which obviously is going to go to him at some point, as well as our brokerage investment accounts. So the assumption that I have is that we would receive an 8% annual market return. This is pretty standard as an assumption for the S&P 500. 7 to 8% roughly is what roughly has been the average. So I went with an 8% annual market return. Also, in regards to retirement, we are putting $2,500 each month into our retirement accounts. Like I said, we are on track to do $30,000 this year, and while it won't be exactly $2,500 a month because we fully funded our Roth IRAs up front, so basically we did $12,000 with our Roth IRAs in January, and then additionally withheld in our 401ks and 403b, we withhold about $1,500 each month. So that averages out to be $2,500 a month, would get us $30,000 a year. That makes sense. So right now we're doing $2,500 a month into retirement. I expect that our retirement contributions will go up with an increase in income, hopefully every year. So I have planned out that this would be increased by $200 every year. And our goal is to invest at least 15% of our income, about between like 15 to 20%. So here in this column, I have included our monthly retirement contributions. I've started it at $2,500, which we're doing now for the remainder of the year. And then as you can see in January, I've increased this to $2,700. And then in the following year, January, I increased this to, actually I need to increase this to $2,900. This is why I'm doing all of this with you guys. Let me update this because I plan to increase this by $200 a year every year going forward. And that's what you get when you are working past midnight on a spreadsheet. Okay, now that has been updated. So as you guys can see, $2,500 right now, and then at the start of each year, I'm increasing that by $200 a month. So the way that I have this retirement cell set up, so it is multiplying the previous cell, the previous amount, by 8% divided by 12, so an 8% annual return. You have to take that interest rate and divide it by how many months, so 8% divided by 12 for the year, and then plus 1 to get that growth to build off of last month. And then I'm adding in the $2,500 monthly contribution here, as well as the previous balance to get it to add. So that is how I have this retirement formula set up, and that's how I have it projected out to see how much this retirement line item could grow month over month. So next, let's talk about the other investment accounts that we have here. So the assumption that I have here is that we are going to put right now $2,200 into our brokerage account. So I looked back at the last 5 months, as this has actually been a new financial goal for us of putting money into our brokerage account. And over the last 5 months, we've had an average of putting $3,700 per month into this brokerage account, but that's been the average. And going forward, I do think that that'll be a little less just because we did get like our stimulus money in one of those months, so that kind of threw it off there. So I plan in our budget going forward to put about $2,200 each month into our brokerage account. And again, the average that we've seen over the last 5 months has been $3,700. So I think that this is pretty conservative. And also I expect the brokerage contributions to go up over time at $100 a month every year. So kind of like what I did for the retirement contributions, I'm starting it at $2,200, and then at the start of a new calendar year, bumping it up an additional $100, as you can see here. And then also we are contributing $200 a month into our son Peter's 529 plan. And we are just still continuing to do 200. We're not sure yet if we plan to increase that, but we're doing 200. And then obviously, like, we hope to have more children, and this would obviously increase if we have another child, and we're planning to save for their college as well. But for right now, I'm just going to be very conservative and go with $200 a month into Peter's 529. So this investment cell that you can see is taking that same 8% growth, and it is adding in then the cells here for the monthly contribution to our brokerage account as well as to Peter's college. So that is how I'm getting that growth for this additional investment account. So let's talk about some other assumptions that I have that are going to play into this projection. First off is our mortgage. I know that our mortgage will decrease every month by the amount that's going to principal. So I took our mortgage balance amount that is from our loan amortization schedule. So this is exactly what our loan balance will be at the end of every month if we're just putting a regular mortgage payment, and the amount that's scheduled to go to principal goes to principal. So here is our ending mortgage balance each month. Then I'm also assuming that property value will increase by 5.45% annually. I did some research to find that 5.45% annually has been the average 10-year return in Portland, Oregon, where I live. So I used this amount to increase our house value month over month. I took that amount divided by 12 for each month and extrapolated that out to have an amount of what our house value could increase by every month. So as you can see here, this house equity line item is taking this house value minus the mortgage balance and giving us this amount that we'd have in house equity, meaning the value of our home minus what we owe on it to be our house equity. The next thing that I'm assuming is our cash amount would increase by about 4% annually for additional savings that are added. So right now we aren't planning to add anything extra to like an emergency fund or anything like that, but we are continuing to add money into our house maintenance line item and just save that up for whenever we'd have that, or just other sinking funds that we keep adding cash to. So I just have that at like a 4% amount that I think would go up. So like right now we're putting almost $400 a month just into house maintenance that doesn't get touched for right now. And as you can see, this is going up in a net like $100 basically increment. So I feel like this is also very conservative with our cash amount of how much that'll go up. And then I also have a 5% depreciation accounted for our 2013 RAV4 and Corolla. I know that also basing all of these projections off of what we've experienced in the last year is kind of hard because the last year has been insane in so many ways with our property value increases, investment increases, and also our cars have gone up in value even though they're used, and that typically doesn't happen. So I do have this accounted for, again, very conservatively, to do a 5% depreciation annually on our 2 cars. So as you can see here, I have a 5% depreciation in this cell. So now to show you when I think that we could actually hit that $1 million net worth mark. And again, this is what I feel like is a lot more conservative than what I shared in the previous video. And I hope that we'll hit it sooner than this, but I feel like this is a very conservative approach to it. But we scroll down here, I've highlighted when we've hit a 100,000 increment. I have 400,000 in February of 2022, 500 in January of 23, 600 in October 23, 700 in July 24, and 800 in March of 25, 900 in October 25, and 1 million in June 2026. So that is the overall projection that I have. Millionaires in spring, summer of 2026. Originally in that video, if you did watch it before I took it down, I had our net worth scheduled to be maybe like summer-ish of 2024. So yeah, this did add a couple years to it. I think that this approach that I'm doing for this assumption is a lot more conservative than what I did with bad math in the last video. So I don't know, I feel like this gives me a lot more factual basis of when we could be millionaires, of using quote bad math, I guess, with extrapolating that percentage out. So I hope that this kind of redeems the previous video that I did and shows you that I do know how to do math and I do care about it. And again, I just want to apologize. I feel so bad that I posted something that I didn't do all the research on and didn't do all the work on that I should have. And so I hope that this redeems that for you guys, and let me know what you think. Dare I ask, let me know what you think of these assumptions and projections that I've set. Again, I feel like it's really conservative, and I hope that over time we'll be able to increase the amounts going to retirement and to our investment accounts, and that we'll see that increase. But I hope that by summer 2026, we're gonna hit that $1 million mark. So you guys, thank you so much for watching this video and for sticking around with me. Again, I just want to apologize. I feel so badly about that, and I would never want to mislead anyone. That it would never be my intention. So I'm so sorry if you felt that way, and thank you for watching this video and hanging out. So this was just my little bit of sharing what I think would be an exciting milestone to reach, and hopefully we'll see that here in a few years to be able to hit that milestone. So thanks so much for hanging out with this video. Leave me a comment down below, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in that next one. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't